Hey, welcome to level number 5. And before we begin part 2 of the Changing Your Money Story level, this entire money story series was developed by a member of our faculty, Dr. David Kruger, who is one of the nation's top doctors and psychiatrists. And he's the CEO of MentorPath. And he coaches many very successful people around the world. And so you're going to actually find more of his training in the $1 Million Success Library when that gets totally unlocked. And when you started this program, we gave you some important teachings selected specifically just for your needs from our 5 pillars of financial success or from a few of our other programs. And I have some great news about that for you today. When you finish level 5, you're going to unlock the rest of the 5 pillars of financial success. And it is, in my opinion, worth millions of dollars. It really will help you, with the roadmap to getting out of debt, to getting out of debt, to earning more, to managing your money, to investing successfully, and then to learn how to think about all these things so you protect your assets. So again, stay focused, complete level number 5, and the rewards are going to be just so worth it for you as you progress from one level to the next. And as always, share your successes, share your challenges in the community, connect with me, watch some of the stuff that we're doing in the community for 5 or 10 minutes a day. All right? So get started, and I will see you on the other side. And again, I just love sharing this with you and seeing you progress and grow. We're really going to be focusing on getting down to the nitty-gritty of creating your new money story. And in the last video, we talked about you owning your money story and assessing the plot and money storylines. We then examined some of your money memories, and I gave you access to a workbook or a playbook, which talked about money meanings, money maturity. And I also outlined a simple 5-phase plot outline for your new money story. All right, so now in today's training, I'm going to help you continue, as I mentioned, to dive deeper so you can create your brand new money story, which I'll show you how to do in a few minutes. But before I do, I want to share a little research with you that'll help you understand even more the power of what you've been doing in retraining your brain and really upgrading your knowledge and your skills, and why you must stay the course. And I want to keep reminding you, this program is a year-long program, and in the earlier trainings, we talked about how the first part of the program is your foundation, then implementation, and then acceleration. Well, you're still in the implementation stage, and once you have your money story, trust me, over the next 90, 180 days, 365 days, you can start to accelerate everything in your life. I want to share with you a study in behavioral change, and as I share the study with you, I want you to guess the biggest change and the impact it had on the people who are in the study. Ben Fletcher at the University of Hertfordshire in the United Kingdom devised this study to get people to break their usual habits of how they thought and what they did each and every day. Now, each of the subjects, these individuals, chose a different option at the beginning of every day from poles of contrasting behavior. So, for example, they chose to either be lively or quiet, depending on what personality they normally had. So the lively people decided to act quietly, the quiet people decided to act lively for one whole day. Introverted people, acted like extroverts. Extroverted people acted like introverts. People who were used to reacting to things and waiting for things to happen had to take on the personality of being proactive. And so each day they would do this, and a quiet person acted more lively, etc. And what happens is even the people who felt like they weren't good enough or smart enough had to act like they were good enough and smart enough and deserving enough. Now, in addition to what they had to do every day, twice a week, they had to stretch their personality and behave in a way that's totally outside of their personality or usual life pattern. So they would eat different types of food, or they would read something they would never consider reading. They'd go to a museum, or they would do things that they would not normally do. Now, what do you think was the biggest change in this group? Okay, you've had enough time. The remarkable thing that they found was after 4 months, 120 days or so, the people who were in the study had lost an average of 11 pounds. 6 months later, which is 10 months total, they all kept off the weight. Almost all. Now remember, the study was not about dieting or losing weight. It was focusing on making deliberate changes, choosing something to change daily, and what the impact would be on their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Now here's what the rationale was that the researchers came up with regarding the changes for the weight. Requiring people to change a routine behavior, whether it's thinking, feeling, or acting, makes them actually think about their decisions rather than habitually being in a default mode without consideration. We all operate based on our habits. Now, these individuals became aware that every thought, every emotion, every behavior, every bite of food was a choice. And they had to make that choice based on the role that they chose for the day. So, where am I going with this? Once you become aware of actively, not passively, actively making choices, you can decide to make the most informed and strategic choices possible that serve your best interests. If you really want to understand something, try to change and see how hard it is without doing what I'm about to show you. And what I'm about to show you is known as choice architecture and the dynamics of change. And so part of the struggle to get people to embrace change is due to the neurological fact that the methods to facilitate change are often contrary to how your brain works. And despite being presented with ample evidence on how change will be beneficial to people, most people don't make the changes even when they know it's in their own best interest. And the question is why? See, I've studied change for 30 years, and I think I have some answers that'll help you. Number one, change is very uncomfortable in the early stages, especially because you're fighting your habitual mind. And your habitual mind is part of your unconscious mind, and your error detection mechanism is always on guard to make sure, number one, you conserve energy. Remember, your brain uses 25% of all of your calories. And so if your brain is always on guard to save energy and stay the course of your old beliefs, your old perceptions, emotions, and behaviors, change is uncomfortable. And so in essence, if you really want to go deeper into this, every one of us is addicted to our current patterns around money and everything else that our brains have become conditioned to accept and play out. So what happens is when you're making changes, and you probably noticed this when you started this program, change generates discomfort. And when your current habits are confronted, the automatic pilot in your midbrain gets disrupted. And this is what causes that discomfort. That prefrontal cortex that we've been talking about for many weeks now, is the thinking brain, has to get busy using more energy, and it uses more energy to pay attention to processes and systems, and this causes it to think. And guess what? It doesn't want to. The natural inclination and biological and physiological responses is to preserve the default habit. And what it does is it protects your current identity and your current money story because it's easier. And when we're going through change, what happens is unconsciously, and maybe even consciously, we fear the unknown of the new thing, even though we want it. And we also have fears and discomfort associated with the risk of leaving our current comfort and safety zone. And this is why lottery winners who win tons of money get rid of all the money so they can get back into their comfort zone. It's not that they don't want a better life or all the good stuff, but because it's so uncomfortable in this new arena of wealth, they sabotage it. So, the big key to making change stick, not temporarily, but stick, is to develop a new, better default mode. Just like a thermostat, reset the thermostat, and when you develop a better default mode and a new identity, now keep one thing in mind, your brain doesn't know that that's what you want to do yet, so you have to go to your higher faculty of awareness and mind and let that lead the way. And when you do that, then you recognize that you're going to feel stress, the stress of change. But you create an agreement with yourself that you're going to operate from a space of knowledge and awareness, and you'll do it anyway to create a new default mode. And this is the key to the success you seek. It's no different than somebody starts an exercise program and their trainer says, hey, for the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be a little bit sore. You're going to want to revert back to all your old habits. Well, that's the exact same things. But since you're in this program, you've got an added advantage. And that is myself and my team of neuroscientists and neuropsychologists love this stuff, and we love to teach it. So here are 6 crucial elements to making your new money story and the changes associated with it stick. Number 1, I want you, actually, before I even get to number 1, I want you just to remind yourself, it's going to be uncomfortable and I may try to rationalize. Now, the definition of rationalize is you may tell yourself rational lies. That's where the word comes from, rationalize, rational lies. So be aware that self-talk may pop up, that you may feel uncomfortable, and just be okay with it. All right? So, 6 things you need to know. Number 1 is you've got to regulate and manage your state of mind. And every one of us has different states of minds at any given time of the day. So we could be in a relaxed state of mind, alert state of mind. We could be filled with anxiety, anger. We could have a focused state of mind. The key when you're looking to make change stick is being aware and choosing your state of mind. When you choose alertness, attentiveness, and focus, you are commanding and directing your brain. And this is step 1 for making change stick. Number 2 is the power of your focus. And one of the reasons I always add mindfulness, meditation, awareness in all of my training is when you utilize mindfulness and awareness and you learn how to focus, what happens is you start to be in control of where you invest your attention, and you become deliberately at choice of where your energy goes. And so attention flows where energy goes. So when you have got the power to focus, and that takes some practice, especially in today's ADD day and age with cell phones, computers, texts, and you know all the other stuff. You have to learn how to focus. Give yourself a command, a directive, a direction, and stay the course. Number 3 is a tool to help you. The reason visualization works, so that's number 3, visualize, is when you invest just a few minutes a day seeing yourself achieving your goals, seeing yourself developing the new habits, feeling yourself achieving the goals that you want to do. In the process of visualizing, you activate the occipital lobe, a big part of your brain, which then activates the nucleus accumbens part of your brain, which releases these feel-good chemicals and activates your left prefrontal cortex. So when you have this motivational circuit light up through visualization, you start to activate key areas of your brain required for change to occur and stick. The fourth part I talked about a little bit already, but I want to just make you aware of it again, because the fourth part is awareness. When you take time every day, every hour, every half day, and you're aware of your thoughts, you're aware of your emotions, and you're aware of the key new lessons and discoveries and insights into your own growth and progression, you actually light up key areas of your brain that cause you to have and develop new neural pathways. And so the more you are actively aware, the more you light up the key areas of your brain around the changes that you want to make, the goals you want to achieve, the emotions you want to have, and you can direct those. Number 5, action. Now, a lot of people, especially since I was in the movie The Secret, and they talked about the law of attraction in the movie, focused on, think, believe, and achieve. And I don't buy into just thinking, believing, and achieving, because in the word attraction, the last 6 letters are action. And nothing will help you more than making a decision, creating a plan for how you're going to achieve whatever the decision is, and then taking action upon it. Knowledge is great, but guess what? Be an action taker, okay? Be an action taker. Every day, do as many things as you can that line up with your new beliefs and money story. Every day, do something to move you towards making that new money story and your results and dreams a reality. And then number 6 is you've got to transform into your new identity. You have to transform into your new identity. You have to invest as much time as you can allow daily to be the new you. And the way you do it, many years ago I heard from one of my first mentors when I was 19 years old, Tommy Hopkins. He says, fake it until you make it. And basically you can pretend as much as you have to as first to get out of the habitual way of your being. Many years ago, I watched an interview with Cary Grant. You may remember the world famous actor Cary Grant. And he said something that stuck with me for many, many years. He said, I played the role of Cary Grant so much that I became Cary Grant. He was born Archie Leach. Archie Leach pretended he was Cary Grant. So here's what I want you to do now that will help you implement these 6 steps. Let's begin to build your new money story by first writing it out. I want you to invest 15 minutes and start creating the first draft that hopefully you'll have 100 iterations over your lifetime that I have created, for example, for myself, for yourself. And so I want you to take 15 minutes and create the first draft of your new money story and your personality story. So let me share with you what I did just yesterday getting ready for this video. I wrote in 7 minutes, and I'm not being facetious, 7 minutes, an example for you. So I wrote this out, and you'll have that in your playbook. All right, I wrote out, a little money story. I'm so happy and grateful for the fact that I'm now earning the amount of income that I want to earn. I now have all the knowledge and the skills to release whatever has held me back in the past, and I am doing that daily. I now find ways to earn income from a variety of sources, and each day I'm focused and have the ability to make this my new reality. I fully believe that I'm now deserving and worthy of setting and achieving the financial and life goals that will make my life the masterpiece that I want it to be. I am able to weather any storm and overcome any obstacles that come my way. I feel confident that I can earn whatever I need to learn, and I can release whatever I need to release to move my life and finances forward. I am willing and able to leave my past negative or unpleasant experiences or behaviors where they belong in my past. I am willing to do whatever it takes to grow and develop into the person that it requires to earn the income I now choose to earn. I am now ready to manage and master my thoughts, emotions, and behaviors and align them with the goals I have to earn, manage, invest, and protect my income and wealth. I am smart enough, good enough, and committed to making this my new reality. The feeling that I now have around my money story is powerful and supports me with more confidence and certainty. It feels amazing to fully believe in my abilities and my future. And I am so grateful that the internal and external support changes are happening to support me. Even though at times I am uncomfortable, I am certain of my progress and growth, and I am doing whatever it takes to be in control as I move my life and success forward. I am doing the things daily that are giving me the highest return on my energy and efforts, and being productive feels so good or great. Now, why did I share that with you? Because it took me 7 minutes to write it, and I have my own version that I read every day, but I also do a couple extra things that I'll share with you in just a moment. And so you can also do that particular exercise in third party. And the newest research shows that when you do it in third party, it actually really re-engages your brain to follow through. So for example, I would write that out, but then I would write it in third party, and it would go something like this: John, even though at times you are uncomfortable, you are certain of your progress and growth, and you are doing what it takes to be in control, to move your life and success forward. Way to do it, John. So as I use my own name, it activates a different part of my brain. So what I want you to do is write your own money story and life story now. Use the playbook or the playbook provided, and I left you some blanks in there. And so use and start at least with the shell that I'm giving you. I'm so happy and grateful for the fact that, and write out what you're happy and grateful for. So go through the playbook, okay, and write your own money story. It'll take you probably 15, 20 minutes, and you have creative license to do whatever you want. You can build the story, and then you become the person who has the beliefs, the emotions, and the behaviors to achieve that lifestyle. If you can get it in here and impress it into your unconscious mind, you will be able to get your brain to get you to take action each and every day. Okay, so you got that? So set aside some time to do that. And so the next piece that I really want to focus with you on is to, after you take what you have written, I want you to print it out and laminate it. Print it out and laminate it. And the reason I want you to print it out and laminate it is because every day I want you to read it, either underneath your breath or aloud. Okay, so you can hear yourself for 3 to 5 minutes, no differently than a Hollywood actor or actress would read his or her lines with conviction and emotion, just like you heard me read what I just wrote yesterday for you. Okay, do it with conviction. Why? Because when you add conviction, that's emotion. And anything that you're emotional about, your brain pays attention to. What I also do when I read my life story is I run my fingers across it as well. And even though I have it on my computer, I like it in laminated form and in my exceptional life blueprint that I have for myself. So as you run your fingers across the words, guess what you're doing? You're seeing it, you're speaking it, you're also creating an electrical signal which does what? Formulates a stronger neural pathway. The neurons that fire together, wire together. So when you're using sight and sound and kinesthetic, touching it, you're actually activating more of your brain's senses. And then what we talked about earlier, okay, is I want you, as you're reading it, okay, or after you've read it, I want you to visualize and emotionalize it as much as you can. Just feel it, pretend. And some people tell me, well, I can't visualize and I can't emotionalize. Well, if you close your eyes and you saw the word apple, okay, now think of a beautiful red, delicious apple or lemon. See, anytime you hear a word, an image, believe it or not, pops into your brain. And that is part of getting that occipital lobe fired up. And it's through repetition, okay, through doing the research, through practicing and acting it over and over again, that you get better at believing the role, no differently than an actor or actress. And guess what an actor or actress does? They practice until they become the role. They practice visualization. They practice the emotions of the role. And just like anything else, if you haven't practiced using your creativity neurons, they're not going to be, easy to access. But every time you read something or close your eyes and see something, and even keep your eyes open, you're activating those creative neurons. So what I want you to do is keep your brain focused on integration of the vision, the beliefs that you've written in the past, your new identity, and what you're going to discover is no differently than when you were a baby, you learned how to walk, or you learned how to ride a bike, or you learned how to talk, or you learned how to eat, or you learned a language. Over the course of 30, 60, 180, 365 days, when you're committed, not interested, committed to your new identity, you start to become one with the identity, and that's when your vision and goals start to materialize. That's where you start having neural coherence instead of dissonance, coherence, harmony instead of disharmony. And it will only feel uncomfortable as long as it's new and foreign. And the more you impress it through thinking about it, seeing it, feeling it, behaving, the easier and more comfortable it becomes for you to be it and express it. So sometimes it's a slow pace, sometimes it happens faster. The key is, are you willing to stick with it and do it for 5 to 10 minutes a day? And if you are, what you'll find is you're going to be constructively building your new identity. You're going to be constructively, deliberately and constructively building your neural pathways, and that's what it takes to become unconsciously competent. You're going to start off with conscious competence, and then with repetition and practice, you become unconsciously competent. Just as you're unconsciously competent at being yourself right now, we are going to help you shift, not the core essence of who you are, but the core essence about your money story, your beliefs, and your habits. And that just will take a little bit of time. And what I want you to also be aware of, remember one of the key steps to change, be aware of the negative self-talk that you're unfathomably going to hear and undoubtedly hear in your head. That is your error detection mechanism kicking in, and it's one of the tools that it uses. It's the negative self-talk. And it also will create, in some people, emotional discomfort. And that's because the new feels uncomfortable. Be bigger than your old self. Be bigger than your old self, and the way to do it is through awareness. You're aware this is going to happen, be in a lookout for it, and then just say, hey, I know this is going to happen. Great, let it go. Next. Step 5 is application, action. And I want you to do this. Just like the people in the study, okay, changed some of the behaviors every day and they were consciously aware of the behaviors, I want you to choose 1, maybe 2 actions every day to move you towards your vision, okay? I want you to remember Cary Grant. I want you to start acting in ways that you haven't before, because it's only through action that you're going to achieve different results. And so you've got to act in ways that are consistent with your new identity, your new beliefs, and that is going to help you default to this new vision, emotions, beliefs, and habits over a period of time. Okay, I know I've given you a lot of stuff here, but as I mentioned, foundation, implementation, acceleration, and you can see where this is going. There's one last bonus step I'm going to give you if you really want to dive this new identity or dive deep into this new identity and drive it deeper into your unconscious mind. Record the story that you wrote and listen to it daily, or you can listen to it multiple times a day with focused attention or in the background as you're doing other stuff. Now, in your playbook, you're going to see a couple of options to record it if you have an iPhone, an Android, or any smartphone, or even a computer. Just use any free online voice recorder or any app where you can record yourself reading your life story. Okay, congratulations. Boom, there is your high five, and it's time for this week's Inner Size on level number 5. So this week, we're really going to focus to create the neural pathways to condition yourself to increase your feelings of wealth. And remember, once you've completed this level, what I want you to do is check out the entire 5 Pillars of Financial Success program, which is incredible. It's in the $1 Million Success Library above somewhere, and you're going to be getting that as your reward for completing this level. I'm telling you, it's worth its weight in gold, and the people that have gone through it and applied it tell me it's helped them immensely. So what I want you to do is click on the button below, get started with this week's Inner Size, and connect with me in the community. Share what's working, share what you need help with, and remember, as you keep reinforcing new patterns, the entire program is built on a stacking system. So what you did in level 1, 2, 3, and 4 gets integrated even more through some of the subliminal programming and through some of the technologies that we use in the program. So I'm proud of you. Congratulations. Click on the button, get started, and I'll see you in one of the next levels.